Michael wasn't your typical Wall Street hotshot. Sure, he had the ambition and the charm, but his experience came from years as a mid-level analyst at a reputable investment firm. He craved the autonomy, and perhaps ignorantly, the prestige of being his own boss. So, with a war chest of $50,000 saved from his years of steady work, Michael decided to strike out on his own. His plan was bold. He'd target friends, family, and even casual acquaintances, promising them a staggering 10% monthly return on their investment. It was a seductive offer, and fueled by Michael's charisma and an initial string of lucky trades, he quickly amassed a pool of investors, doubling his trading capital by 100% to $100,000. The initial returns were impressive, fueled by both genuine market gains and some creative accounting on Michael's part. This success fed his confidence and snowballed his reputation, attracting even more capital. However, Michael wasn't a seasoned trader. He was a gambler at heart, and the easy money intoxicated him. He began taking on increasingly risky bets, convinced that his hot streak would continue. He leveraged his holdings, chasing ever higher returns to keep the payouts coming to his growing base of investors. However, the market eventually shifted, as it always does. Michael's risky ventures turned sour and his losses mounted. Panicked, he tried to recoup his losses with even more reckless plays, but it was a desperate attempt to plug a gaping hole with a tissue. Months that were supposed to yield a comfortable 10% return turned into agonizing losses. Investors started calling, their initial excitement replaced by a sickening dread. Michael, consumed by shame and facing financial ruin, finally came clean. His initial capital of $50,000 was gone, along with the money he'd so confidently promised to grow. The dream of easy riches had turned into a devastating nightmare, shattering not just his reputation, but the trust he'd built with friends and family. I'm willing to bet that we all know a Michael. You know that guy that talks a good game, dressed in sharp $1,000 suits, and claims he's raked in millions from the market. Let's forget about the $1,000 suits. Maybe you've been a Michael. I know I've been a Michael. In the early days, my initial trading wins got the better of me. I excitedly shared my success with friends and boasted that I found the way to make money from trading. I even promised to double their investments in 6 months. And why not? I'm now a trading genius. And 2 of my friends, bless their hearts, trusted me with $1,000. We used the money to buy a $100,000 prop account. I passed the challenge phase, and I started trading. Maybe it's the pressure of the magnitude of trading a 100K account for the first time, or the pressure of not wanting to let my friends down. What happened to Michael ended up happening to me. I started abandoning my trading plans, started getting emotional and chasing losses, and in a short while, I blew the account. Maybe right now, you've started raking in consistent profit and already thinking about calling a town hall meeting for people to invest their hard-earned money in the next best thing. At least watch this video till the very end before you do that. Michael's and my story should be a cautionary tale for both aspiring traders and potential investors. In this video, I'll reveal the tips I wish I had known to keep me from blowing the 100 prop firm account, wasting my friends' hard-earned cash, and how Michael could have prevented turning a $100,000 account into a mere $1,000. Number 1. Confidence is a double-edged sword. Confidence is a crucial ingredient for success in any field, and trading is no exception. It allows us to make decisive calls and weather market fluctuations. However, as Michael's story and mine demonstrates, unchecked confidence can morph into a dangerous double-edged sword. Michael's initial string of lucky trades and impressive returns fueled his confidence. And yes, we can say that this feeling of accomplishment is understandable. However, a critical error he made was mistaking beginner's luck for expertise. He likely attributed his success solely to his own skill, overlooking the role of chance. This inflated confidence clouded his judgment, leading him to believe his hot streak would continue indefinitely. This is why it is important to be disciplined as a trader and also stick to our trading plan. Imagine if, instead of succumbing to overconfidence, he had maintained his initial discipline. He could have continued following his established risk management practices and avoided the catastrophic losses that followed. 2. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Michael's story serves as a stark reminder of the importance of a crucial rule in trading: never invest more than you can afford to lose. His initial capital of $50,000, likely saved from years of hard work, vanished alongside the $50,000 entrusted to him by investors. This not only shattered his dreams of financial freedom, but also potentially put his financial security at significant risk. The emotional toll of losing your entire investment can be crippling. I know the feeling, and there is a high chance you do too. But imagine the weight of losing not just your own money, but also the hard-earned savings of friends and family who believed in your abilities. While Michael was comfortable leveraging his initial capital, fueled by his initial success, he likely didn't consider his true risk tolerance. A study published in the Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization by Doman et al. Explored this concept, demonstrating that individuals tend to make poorer financial decisions when under pressure or facing potential losses. This aligns perfectly with Michael's story. As his losses mounted, the pressure to recoup his money and that of his investors likely clouded his judgment, leading him to take even riskier bets, ultimately jeopardizing everything. To avoid risking more than you can afford to lose, it is best to start with small investments, set stop-loss orders to limit losses on open positions, and build an emergency fund for unexpected expenses. Understanding risk tolerance, setting clear boundaries, and prioritizing financial security can help us as traders avoid major losses. This approach promotes sustainable long-term growth rather than chasing unrealistic returns. Number 3. Risk management is paramount. Yes, you know I am going to talk about it, and I promise you, I won't stop. Your first duty as a trader is to find a risk management strategy to protect your capital. But I think most of us misunderstand the concept of risk management. Risk management isn't about eliminating risk entirely. That's simply not possible. It's about understanding the risks involved, putting safeguards in place, and having a plan for when things get rough. With a sound risk management strategy as your compass, you can navigate the ever-changing financial seas with a cool head and a clear vision for success. Most of us trade using leverage, which allows us control a larger position size with a smaller investment. But it's a two-way street. When the market moves in your favor, it magnifies your profits. But when things turn sour, as they inevitably do, your losses are also amplified, potentially wiping you out. Without a proper risk management, you are one trade away from throwing it all away. Don't make that mistake again. Number 4. Discipline is key. Michael's initial success inflated his confidence, mirroring my own experience with the prop firm account. This led to both of us abandoning discipline and taking on excessive risk. As traders, we need to stick to our plans and avoid letting emotions cloud our judgment. The market can be a thrilling yet unpredictable journey. But that's where discipline steps in. It is your life jacket, keeping you afloat amidst the emotional waves and unforeseen currents. Discipline also involves keeping your emotions in check. When Michael faced losses, fear took control. He panicked, chasing those losses with even riskier bets. This is a recipe for disaster. Fear and greed are two of the biggest enemies of a trader, and a well-defined trading plan, built on discipline, is your shield against them. Discipline may not be glamorous, but it's the bedrock of successful trading. It's about staying focused, controlling your emotions, and adhering to your plan even when the going gets tough. When you embrace discipline, you become the captain of your financial ship, charting a course towards your investment goals and avoiding the emotional storms that can wreck your portfolio. Remember, even the most experienced sailors rely on discipline to navigate the vast seas. So, chart your course, stay disciplined, and let that be your compass to financial success, where you trade $100,000 to $1 million instead of $1,000. 5. Michael's 10% monthly return and my double the money investment promises should be a red flag. Michael's promise of a guaranteed 10% monthly return and me promising my friends to double their investment in 6 months exemplifies a classic tactic used by fraudsters parading as trading gurus who exploit people's desire for easy wealth. Research in the field of behavioral finance demonstrates a well-documented phenomenon called hyperbolic discounting. This concept explains our tendency to value immediate rewards more highly than future ones. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology by Lowenstein and Prillick showed that participants were more likely to choose a smaller sum of money immediately over a larger sum offered a year later. This bias can be exploited by get-rich-quick schemes, which dangle the promise of immediate financial gain, blinding investors to the inherent risks and the unlikelihood of such high returns. By understanding the psychological biases that get-rich-quick schemes exploit and by implementing strategies based on sound financial research, traders and investors can navigate the market with a clear head and a healthy dose of skepticism, avoiding the pitfalls that awaits. Trading can be rewarding, but it requires knowledge, discipline, and a healthy dose of respect for the market. In Michael's story, he left the investment firm because of the idea that trading is easy for someone smart. But the truth is, even intelligent people find it challenging. This video dives into why trading is difficult, even for the sharpest minds. I discuss specific reasons why it is so, and what you can do to overcome them. If you're serious about trading, this is a must-watch. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share if you find the video helpful. Thanks for watching.